It's been a confusing year so far. While almost all pundits are forecasting, if not a recession, quite a tough year ahead in 2023. But the data, especially the leading indicators, are not showing that. No country except maybe the UK is really getting into recession at this moment. Growth has slowed down definitely everywhere. Inflation is high, but still it's holding on much better than what people thought. Look at another data point, which is the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate in the US is probably at its lowest in its history. That's amazing. This is in spite of all the downsizing announced by the big tech companies. Look at other parts of the world too. Take Australia or India. These are at historical low unemployment rates. So what's happening? There seems to be a fear of recession. Companies are being careful. But on another side, unemployment is at the lowest, and it's been low for the last mid of last year. Okay, so it's difficult to hire, and companies are worried about the growth for the rest of the year. So there's a paradox here. So what should HR managers do, and why is this happening? The why probably can be explained as a backlash from what happened last year. So look back at the scenario after the pandemic, where because the demand fell, most companies went into downsizing and reducing workforce. And as the workforce reduced and they slimmed down, come 2022, they saw this huge spike of demand. Huge demand in 2022, which put amazing pressure on two things. One, material. So factories were running multiple shifts, and they were rushing to open new factories. The raw material was scarce because the huge demand on them. So the prices went up, and people were in huge demand because you suddenly had to hire people and ramp up, and people were not available because they were being sought after by everyone. That they were being choosy. They were choosing which is the place to go and work. And around that time, different things were happening. If you remember the second half or at the end of 2022, there was the great resignation thing happening in the US, where a lot of people were leaving jobs with the knowledge that whenever they wanted to get back, jobs were available. Okay, so they were being choosy. Many parts of the world, they were leaving big companies and working with startups and other companies where they could get a better work-life balance and things. So it was suddenly the market where they were choosing and deciding what to do. And the HR managers went through a nightmare at that time. There was huge backlog of hiring requirements. They couldn't hire fast enough. And that's from where they have come to today, where unemployment rates are at historic low. And while the good sense is that they're walking into, if not recession, a period of low demand, and they need to be careful about their costs, but they cannot take a decision now after going through all that pain. They know that if they drop people now, and if they have to hire them back, they know the pain they went through last year and still struggling. So that's the background from which this whole unique scenario has come today. Now, what should HR managers do? If I was heading strategy for HR, I would suggest these 3-4 things. Number one, the first thing to do is to separate the men from the boys. Identify clearly the high performers and average performers, and make sure that this differentiation is carried out into your rewards area too, so that you are not trying to have a one size fit all, so you are paying as per potential. So the differentiation has to come in there. The second thing is to obviously build a very positive work atmosphere where you encourage collaboration, working in teams, working together, feeling of community, and increase engagement with the company. Number 3 is to look at how to provide growth opportunities, and growth, I don't mean growing and promotion, but growth of in terms of knowledge and exposure. So focus more on building training programs, exposure to cross-functional work where they can learn and grow in their own knowledge and experience. Employees value that. It is not always money. They're looking for growing, and growth does not just mean promotions. And lastly, you must focus on communicating, and communicating often, and communicating honestly. Share the challenges the company is facing, share the actions which they are doing. Be very open and honest about this. What this does is it builds trust, and they know exactly what is happening in the country, and they know that you are not hiding anything, and that is a strong bond, the bond of trust. Overall, it's an interesting year. From a purely academic point of view, it's going to be absolutely challenging year for leaders to manage people as a raw material. The whole conundrum of how much to do, when to do, how quick or take your time, is going to be an amazing decision making process. Very exciting. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm sure so are you. Stay unstoppable.